Welcome to Soul-Led Creative Women, a podcast for women passionate about personal growth, seeking bold, brave tools to navigate life's ups and downs. Hey, so today we're diving into a topic that is really at the core of my purpose-driven work and my message. It's all about answering the call to heal and really expand into our most authentic selves. For all of us, I think there comes a moment in life when we recognize that something within us is calling us for change. It might start with, a whisper, just a feeling of restlessness, like something isn't quite aligned. Or it might be really quite loud, a heartbreak, a burnout, loss, or the sudden realization that we're sort of stuck in some really painful cycles and toxic situations. And whatever the trigger is, it's this acknowledging that we need to heal. It's one of the bravest things that we can do for ourselves because healing isn't about fixing what's wrong with us. It's about uncovering the truth of who we really are and moving towards what it is that our soul and our heart really desires. Healing is an invitation. It's an invitation to grow, to expand, and to evolve. Healing asks us to peel back the layers of the conditioning, the expectations, and all of the wounds that have really shaped us into who we are today. When we choose to heal, we are answering an inner call to step into our power and to really release whatever no longer serves us and say goodbye to many things. I know I've shed many, many layers of things that no longer served me, whether it's in the form of people or behaviors or patterns or perspectives or limiting beliefs. There's a whole host of things that we can let go of. And, it's this moving towards a life that really feels aligned with our soul as we go through that shedding process. I mean, if you think about it, how often do we stay in relationships or jobs or situations that really diminish us because we're taught that our needs should come second? How many times have we silenced our creativity or hidden parts of ourselves because we fear that the world doesn't really want to see it or that we're not enough or we're not good enough? Healing is about becoming aware of these patterns and gently, powerfully choosing something different that feels more authentic, more true for us, and that really helps us expand. I think awareness is always really the first step. When we become aware of things, it gives us an opportunity to change the way that we respond in all areas of our life. And if we want to create lasting change, we have to get really honest with ourselves. And so there's a few things that I invite you to reflect on as we're sort of having this conversation. What situations in your life constantly drain your energy and leave you feeling small and unfulfilled? It's quite a big one. Are there any beliefs that you're holding on to about yourself that limit your ability to fully step into your potential? If you want something and there's negativity coming up, it's likely attached to a limiting belief. And have a look at what recurring challenges that you're facing that come up time and time again, and you really lean into what these challenges are trying to teach you. And I can give you a couple of examples to illustrate. If you always feel undervalued in relationships or workplaces, it could be attached to a limiting belief that you have to somehow prove your worth to people when you're always starting off on the back foot. When you recognize these types of patterns of thought and behaviors and beliefs, you can begin to shift them. You can set boundaries, you can stand up for yourself and speak your truth, and you can learn to value yourself first, before you ask other people to. Once we let go of, all the old stuff that we don't want to carry with us as we move forward, We then get to create space for real connection with ourselves on a much deeper level. And it really doesn't have to be complicated, this kind of inner connection and this tapping into sort of the deeper parts of ourselves. One of the most powerful things you can do is create a simple ritual that allows you to create this soul connection. Whether it's showing up for something intentionally once a week or once a month, whatever you can squeeze in. The key is to committing to this intentional space of self reflection and intentionally listening within, and connecting within. I actually teach a 5-step soul connection system that combines holistic themes, short grounding meditations, creative writing for intention setting, playful art making for free expression, and, reflection techniques. If you're interested in learning about my 5-step soul connection approach, you can find out more about my rituals at samhorton.co/rituals. And if you're looking for other ways to deepen your connection by yourself, I've got a few recommendations for you. I always say try everything once and see what sticks. Ultimately, whatever rituals you come up with for yourself into the long term should feature things that you're really drawn to and that really resonate with you. So the first on my list is simple journaling. When we write freely about thoughts, emotions, and desires, you need to start asking yourself some really deep questions. What does my soul crave? What is it that my heart desires? And just see what comes up. It's a really beautiful exercise, journaling and free writing like that. The second thing on my list is quieting the outside noise. If you can, do some meditation and mindfulness. It really helps with grounding. So even just 5 minutes, you can start to quiet the outside noise and really hear yourself. And this kind of leads into creative exploration. There's nothing quite like immersing yourself in a creative activity to really deeply silence all that outside noise and really tune inwards. Whether it's art, music, movement, any form of self-expression can really open up parts of your inner world that words and logic can't really reach. The other recommendation I have is to have a think about, doing some inner child work. Thinking about what's brought you joy as a child is really powerful. And reconnecting with those playful and imaginative parts of yourself can be really deeply healing. Of course, seeking guidance, if you're stuck and you just don't know how to start with this kind of inner connection piece, then, coaching, therapy, mentorship, having someone reflect your truth back to you can be a really powerful part of the journey. Once you've started uncovering your truth and, really intentionally creating that space for deep inner connection, the next step is learning to express it. And we want to express it fully and unapologetically, really authentically in all areas of our life. The goal is to, share our truth with the world in whatever form that feels safe and feels good to do. It might mean, pursuing a passion or a career that really aligns with your soul's desires. Even if it feels uncertain or, a little bit awkward to begin with, if you've got the urge, I would say do it. Try it on and see where it takes you. It might mean speaking up for yourself more and finding ways to communicate in relationships and friendships, even when it's uncomfortable. I know a lot of people struggle with finding the right words at the right time, but the more you practice doing it, I think the better you get. And it's really about establishing these personal boundaries, taking the time to feel ready for a conversation as well before you launch into it. It might also mean releasing the need for external validation, and learning to trust your inner wisdom more. So seeking validation from within yourself is far more important than what anyone can say to you about how you're expressing yourself or how you're succeeding or how you're moving through life. So that's a big one. And then, of course, exploring creative outlets to process your emotions and share your truth is a really powerful way of expressing your truth out into the world. It's one of my favorite things to do, obviously, but there's nothing else quite like it, and it's got so much depth and hidden meaning to it, when you break it down and you look at it through the lens of healing and expansion. And, I'll be honest, growth isn't always easy. There will be moments of discomfort, fear, and resistance. Growth is not a linear process. You'll go back and forwards, many, many times on your journey. But every time you choose to honor your truth, you are giving yourself an opportunity to expand into a freer, more powerful version of yourself. I always think about the transformation of a caterpillar, into a butterfly. Imagine if the caterpillar resisted the cocoon, afraid of the change, it would never experience the freedom of flight and the beauty of, becoming a butterfly. Healing is exactly the same. Every time you step towards self-awareness, every courageous choice to step into your truth, to set boundaries, it brings you closer to a life of deeper fulfillment, connection, and joy. So if you feel the call to heal, listen, trust that on the other side of healing is the version of you that is more vibrant, more powerful, and more beautifully alive than you ever thought possible. Healing is not about fixing yourself. It is about choosing to move towards things that light you up and that fill you with fulfillment and joy. Until next time, keep listening to your soul, keep creating, and keep expanding. You are worthy of a life that feels aligned, fulfilling, and free. Take care. Hey, Sam here. Thanks so much for listening to the end. If you'd like to keep the conversation going, I would absolutely love to hear from you. Join my free soul-led creative community and gain access to free guides and resources, plus exclusive events and workshops, all from within the members area. This is your chance to connect with me and other like-minded souls. Please head to samhorton.co/community. Take care.